Hello, this is Mad Cat, and welcome to another edition of Boobs and Dicks Smashing the Matriarchy. Because that's what we like to do on this show. We like to smash things. Anyways, today's a special show, and let me be the first to wish you all a happy May the 4th be with you. And this comes from Dix.
And I'm Boobs.
Hi. Boobs today. She is wearing the greatest sweater ever. It doesn't function as a sweater.
Yep, it's a good old fashioned. Well, it's called a Virgin Killer sweater. Thanks to Mr. Lewd Carrot on what's it called? Twitter. He got it for me from my Amazon wish list, which is in the description. But yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Now, if we're lucky, Vanessa will wear it for our 2018 calendar.
That's actually not a bad idea. It would work pretty well with the Halloween theme.
True.
But yeah, so yep, Virgin Killer sweater, Mr. Frax. But here, I'll do a little spin for you. Very nice. Oh shit. Oh fuck.
She almost fell down. Her boobs are so heavy, like displaces her a lot. I mean, she's laying like on her stomach. She can't lift herself up. She has to roll over first. Her boobs are just so heavy for her.
Bro, you don't even know. Okay, like my ass. Okay, when I like this one time, I remember like I was in the bathtub, and my fucking Andrew, he was like, "Are you laying down like flat in the bathtub?" And I was like, I'm just sitting on my butt. And he was like, try to go all the way down. And so I tried, but my ass was so like huge, I couldn't like get all the way down. So I was literally just like floating on my ass. I'm sorry, too much information. But yeah, so if you go on Patreon, you can see like 10 pictures of me in this outfit, including ones of me wearing it backwards. So in that, all you have to do is pledge $1 on Patreon. So yeah.
$1. But for those who do not know, we just announced this very recently, but we are doing a girly calendar, a girly pinup calendar, featuring some of the lovely ladies of the men's movement. Mm-hmm. And not only that, not only will we have modern Medusa, she's going to be Miss October, mm-hmm. and Reading Ren, who's going to be Miss July. And we also had, God, I keep forgetting her name. Starts with an R.
Rio
we just had her on the show. Rachel, but who's the girl we had on the show Tuesday?
Rachel, or wait, no. Chagrin.
Chagrin. Why do I think it starts with an R? Chagrin. I swear I will remember her name by the time we get the calendar out, but she's also going to. But big news: Mercedes Carrera has agreed to be in our calendar.
Yes, I'm so excited.
So I'm thinking either for like Miss January or Miss December. I'm not really sure which one yet.
Definitely. Either she's got to be either the beginning or the end. I don't care. She's gonna be the highlight of the fucking calendar. Like it's gonna be awesome.
Well, all the girls are going to be a highlight, but I'll certainly be looking for January and October.
Hell yeah.
And Chagrin is in the chat room, so she gets to hear me forget her name. God, I'm so embarrassed. Why isn't she in this chat? Why isn't she in this channel?
I sent her a hangout link just now. So.
Someone asked if we got Based Mama. She's shown interest in it. I don't know if she's made a final commitment to it, but I know that she's interested in doing it. So as soon as we get final confirmation from her, we'll let you know if she's going to be in it or not.
Yeah, she would like to be in the 2018 calendar. She hasn't submitted anything like for the mock calendar for the Indiegogo campaign, but you know, it's going to be a long while until we start actually selling the calendars. So, you know, if she submits something really awesome, obviously we're going to use it.
It's about stuttering soliloquy.
Yeah, she's also interested.
Yeah, I believe she might be in our 2017 calendar.
Yeah.
Which we're only going to do a 6-month calendar because it's kind of hard to have a calendar for days that are already passed. I mean, we could. I mean, people just flip through the pictures, but we're just going to do a 6-month calendar from July to December, kind of as a proof of concept of what we're doing, which will be available on our Indiegogo campaign on May 15th.
Yes, sir.
So we have a very special day as the title, May the 4th. What better way to celebrate an unofficial Star Wars holiday by talking about William Shatner?
Yeah.
So before we go into our news article about how awesome William Shatner is, I want to show you William Shatner is so awesome. So we'll start with a little video. What?
I can't find my alcohol. It disappeared. I'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, William Shatner.
Mute yourself. You need to mute yourself when you're not talking.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Star Trek changed everything. And aren't these conventions wonderful? Shatner, we want you to open the show. Star Wars? Oh, wait a minute. I can do Star Wars. I can. George. It's George, isn't it? May I call you George? You can call me Mr. Shatner. I envy you. I really envy you. Just gonna do the hair. Is it a dominant gene? From one star voyager to another. Here's a message I think appropriate for a man being honored for his life achievement. And now the end is near. And so you face the final curtain.
Ball sacks. Can I ask a question really quick? What is this event?
Well, this is the AFI Lifetime Achievement Award for George Lucas.
Oh. Props to fucking William Shatner for talking about that shit at this kind of place. Like, shit. But
well, yeah, they got him, but they didn't tell anyone. So everyone was like shocked, like, William Shatner's here? So he just starts, and I don't know if you saw the beginning of it, but he was like talking about how great Star Trek was, and then he looks around and notices all the Star Wars stuff, so he pulls out a letter and it's like, Star Wars?
Yeah.
Like he didn't know that he was there for that reason. So.
Yeah.
But now we get to listen to him sing, as only William Shatner can.
Clear. I'll state your case, of which I'm certain. You lived a life that's full. You've traveled each and every shore. And more, much more than this. You did it your way. Oh, regrets. You've had a few. Anyone see Howard the Duck? The Sith picture, I love it. I love the Sith picture. It's a great Sith picture. But then again, too few to mention. You did what you had to do. You saw it through. Without exception. You planned each charted course, each careful step through every doorway. But more, much more than this. You did it your way. Oh, yes! There were times, I'm sure you knew, when you bit off more than you could chew, Baka. But through it all,
Oh my god.
there was doubt.
What's up?
I was just reacting to the Chewbacca. He's like, because he just called him Baka. That was hilarious.
Well, he says bit off more than you could chew, Baka.
Oh. See, okay. I didn't hear that part. That is even funnier.
Sexy.
Yeah, you look sexy. Oh my god.
You faced it all. You stood tall. And you did it your way. What is a man? What has he got? Not himself. Then he is not. I'm doing it my way. To say the things he truly feels, and not the words of one who kneels. The record shows you took the blows, and you did it. Your way. Live long and prosper, George. Well, live long. You've already prospered enough. Thank you, George.
To William Shatner, live long, you've already prospered enough. And honestly, we cannot allow this man to die because he is just awesome. So this is the reason why I want to talk about William Shatner on the unofficial Star Wars holiday. People still with me here? You're just being silent.
I am.
All right. So William Shatner takes on feminism for dismissing misandry and promoting toxic masculinity. Now, I think it was about a year ago, William Shatner came under fire, I think by the Mary Sue or any other feminist publication, because at a convention where there was Brent Spiner and Kate Mulgrew, he kept referring to putting Kate Mulgrew in a refrigerator box. And people are like, well, this is just an example of a woman in a refrigerator trope, which for those who don't know, this is actually based off of a Green Lantern comic where a Green Lantern comes home from a mission and finds the head of his girlfriend in the refrigerator.
Nice.
And it's been a trope of, like, you know, basically a character's only purpose is to be a sex symbol and to die, which is not what William Shatner was referring to. And William Shatner was actually referring to an inside joke that he had with Kate Mulgrew on his documentary about the captains of Star Trek, in which he interviewed Kate Mulgrew, but while he waited for her, it was very hot, so he sat inside a refrigerator box, like a cardboard box that you put a refrigerator in, and he just sat there waiting for her, and, you know, it's just been an inside joke for them. But because no one really wants to read into why things happen the way they do, it's like, oh, William Shatner is sexist.
Jesus.
So I don't know if that has anything to do with this, but it's just, you know, he has come under fire from feminism, so I'm glad to see him go after feminism himself. So William Shatner is under fire for offering some mild criticism on contemporary feminism. Feminism is great, he tweeted on Monday. Okay, he's already lost me. I hate him. But terms like toxic masculinity are degrading. It borders on that imaginary concept to feminists. Misandry. Okay, he's won me back. For sharing that reasonable perspective, Shatner was hit with the 1,300-word rebuttal in the Mary Sue and compared to men's rights activists in a Mick. Okay, I don't know if you're trying to insult William Shatner, a men's rights activist, but we take it as a compliment.
Yeah.
When William Shatner brings up misandry as if it's any way the same as misogyny and deserves the same level of scrutiny, the Mary Sue writer declared, it's hugely ignorant, irresponsible, and sexist. So let me get this straight, Mary Sue. Talking about misandry and comparing it to misogyny is ignorant, irresponsible, and sexist.
Yeah, apparently. Well, okay.
So misandry, which is sexism towards men or hatred towards men, is sexist to talk about when we put it in the same way of misogyny, which is sexism or hatred towards women. That's just so amazing.
I don't even know what to say to that. Like, okay, so it's really hard for me to like wrap my brain around that.
I mean, there's just so many layers to just that one statement.
Yeah, there really is.
To talk about sexism and compare it to other forms of sexism is in itself sexism.
Yeah. Well, that's what they like to just ignore the actual problems and then just fucking point it to themselves and just be like, this is misogynist, even if, you know, he was trying to be a good person, you know, whatever, just fuck it, you know, any mention of rights, men's rights, is fucking misogyny. Always.
But kill all men, a clearly misandric statement, but according to Time magazine, was just a joke, and misandry doesn't exist. So that's why we can't compare misandry to misogyny, because misandry is just a joke, and you shouldn't take it seriously. No matter how bad it is, we could say that baby boys should be aborted, and if you say it's misandry, it's just a joke. We don't really mean it. But then even suggest something mildly funny about women. Oh, it's misogyny, it's proof of rape culture and racism and transphobia.
Exactly.
So continuing on. For his part, Shatner did not cave to the backlash. Instead, the actor doubled down in a series of tweets engaging his detractors, insisting that misandry is a real phenomenon. Let's take a look at these tweets. Okay, so someone said to him, feminism is great, except that part when it criticized men. Misandry is about as real as Klingons, Bill. That's horrible to say. And then William Shatner says, you can say that about misandry all you want, but it exists. Thank you, William Shatner, for saying what so many of us have been saying for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, coming from you, it has more legitimacy because you have the power to reach a greater reach than we do. But we thank you for saying what we've been trying to say so desperately. Yeah. That's the second thing he said.
And well, that's the thing. Like that's like such a simple statement. Like misandry is real, and it's honestly it's retarded that that some people would criticize someone saying that. Like,
well,
come on.
This is actually the same woman, I think, from the other tweet. She says, misogyny is a systematic violence that kills and oppresses women. Misandry is a myth derived from men's hurt feelings. And William Shatner responds, you just keep believing it doesn't exist and keep on hating men. I'm sure it makes you sleep better at night.
Right.
Although I like this here. Everyone on this thread registered for selective service, please raise your hand.
That's great.
But go ahead. What were we going to say?
Like, he has a very, very good point. Like, you know, I mean, I'm sure it does help them sleep better at night because it's like, you know, denying the hardships of others makes it you feel better about yourself for, you know, bitching about completely like stupid things, you know, like fucking things that don't exist, like the wage gap and fucking, you know, I don't know, that catcalling is a fucking somehow a legal problem, like like people need to be arrested for being catcalled for catcalling people, women specifically, not men.
I watched a show called Powerless. It's an NBC show. And at first I liked the premise of it. It's about non-powered people in the DC universe. I'm like, okay, this is an interesting take on comic book movies and TV shows about people who are not the heroes and how they deal with day-to-day life. But oh my God, was there so much feminism and social justice warrior bullshit in it. And at first it was subtle, but then they became obvious. Like there was a scene where they're saying how they feel harassed by a hot dog vendor because he makes sexual innuendos and catcalls the women. And by the end of the show, they decide that they should take self-defense classes to protect themselves, not from catcallers, but from all crime. Which, okay, that's a reasonable thing, okay? Take self-defense classes. But of course, inevitably, they punch him. The appropriate response when you're dealing with someone catcalling, you beat them up. Instead of saying, hey, shut the fuck up. Hey, stop saying that to me. Your first immediate response is violence. And that's perfectly okay because catcalling is violence on women's ears. It hurts their feelings, which feelings are more real than anything else.
Right. That's what's like, I don't understand the violent thing, like especially like not just with feminists but with women in general. Like if they get like offended, not even like not just when they're mad, when they're offended about something, they just have to fucking hit it if it's a man, which makes no fucking sense. Or actually, there is a lot of like catfights in the media and shit like that, so it's just like women are more prone to be violent towards each other than like men are to women. And it's like, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Women will do everything to just keep the blame like on the men, no matter what.
Well, feminism is like the aliens on Mars attack. When they're holding the translator, it's like, no, don't run. We are your friends, while they're destroying everything and killing people.
That's awesome.
That's what feminism is. A bunch of aliens running around saying, don't run. We are your friends, while they kill you.
Has anybody drawn like a comic of that? Because I need to.
Please do. They
Hilarious.
post it on our new website.
Oh my god. Please. I have to.
We're designing a website right now. It's going to launch the same time as our Indiegogo campaign. So it's coming out real soon. But I will be doing an article about that show Powerless, because it is just horrible how much feminism seeks into that. They're not even denying their hatred of men. That's the sad part. All right, continuing on. When one social media user argued feminism has never spoken positively of masculinity, Shatner pushed back by praising the movement's earlier incarnation, replying, I disagree. The original feminist movement was about equality. Somewhere along the line, a few decided differently. They are the exceptions. Yeah, I dislike the original movement of feminism. There were some of them out there who were trying to promote equality, but a lot of it was terrorist actions. But I'll give Shatner the benefit of the doubt that there was some parts that was about equality. Rather than reconsider the wisdom of the terms like toxic masculinity or their own reflective dismissal of the possibility that misandry exists, feminists lashed out at anyone who dares question their doctrine, even when they're sympathetic to the cause. When people such as Shatner, who endorsed Hillary Clinton as early as 2014, no one's perfect, offered reasonable perspectives that pushed back against racial tenets of feminism, radical tenets, not racial. Well, I swear I know how to read. Perspectives that pushed back against the radical tenets of feminism, they called sexist and treated as enemies of women. So that's a very good point. William Shatner supported Hillary Clinton, but because he criticizes the modern incarnation of feminism for ignoring misandry or being proponents of misandry and using the term toxic masculinity to describe any masculinity, he simply hates women.
Yeah, well, what's interesting, like, you know, anybody can support someone blindly, you know, like if someone says like, yeah, I'm for equal rights and I'm for blah blah blah, like when Obama came into or was campaigning or whatever and I was in high school, I remember everybody was like, yeah, he's for women's rights and gay rights, and I was like, okay, that sounds like something I can get on board with, because I was young and, you know, I didn't really know politics, especially when it comes to genders. So I was like, yeah, Obama sounds cool. And then, you know, as I went along, I realized that women's rights aren't really what we should be fighting for. So it's like, you know, I don't criticize him for supporting Hillary Clinton, because obviously his heart is in the right place and he believes that equal treatment is men and women, you know, fucking. But like, obviously he said misandry is real, and that doesn't mean misogyny isn't. Oh.
There's no way to convince skeptical Americans that the real definition of feminism is someone who believes in the fundamental equality of men and women. The definition of a feminist that the movement itself actually endorses necessitates a person to embrace concepts like toxic masculinity and intersectionality. To build a broader movement, feminists should start by accepting the criticism of sympathetic observers instead of slamming them as sexist.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very good point. I understand why feminism came to be. First wave, second wave, and while there's much of it I disagree with, fine. It existed, it had its purpose, it's now past. But feminism are still holding on to this fairy tale that the world was designed against them, which is so far from the truth.
Mm-hmm.
It was designed against everyone, men and women, and men suffered as much as women did. The problem is that the people in power were men, so it is assumed that all men had power. That's not the case. Only a very select few of men, not even 1% of men had power. It was like 0.0001 to the billionth place of men who had any real power. And everyone else suffered for it.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that they are trying to hold on to this fairy tale that women are oppressed. And if you dare say anything bad, you are part of the problem. If you even offer the possibility that someone might suffer as much as they do, you are part of the problem. The only thing a man can do in support of feminism is to say nothing, do nothing, and let women do whatever they want to him and never complain. So anything more you want to add to that?
I mean, that was pretty good. I pretty much said what I wanted to say earlier. Oh, hey, we got 2 new guests.
Hello. Hola. How you guys doing?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Pretty good. I mean, I was just checking your guys' show and you sent me a link, so I'm like, oh, hey, that's the thing. Hey.
Yeah. But yeah, we're talking about William Shatner and his shenanigans.
Oh yeah, the whole him talking about misandry and so on and so forth, and like feminists are losing their fucking minds over it.
Yeah.
I just want to draw, like, from what I've been following and everything, like, granted, I'm a firm believer that, the whole feministic wave that's going on right now is complete batshit insane. But there's a lot of parallels between the Lavender Menace movement during second wave feminism and what's going on with like William Shatner and like men and the men's rights movement. It's fucking insane. It's hilarious.
Have any like big name feminists came out like saying anything to him?
Well, no.
I don't know.
Well, there you go.
Oh God, I remember that. I remember there was a bake sale like that in Australia that was bullshit.
Well, of course. I mean,
Wait,
we
what
have
about
to...
Australia?
There was a bake sale in Australia where they based the pricing off of how oppressed you were. Men paid $1, women paid 75 cents. If you were a woman of color, you paid even less.
I tried asking if I could get like a muffin for like 58 cents because that's the supposed normal wage of what a male Hispanic makes, and apparently I got rejected. I don't know why.
That's funny.
But yeah, no,
Well,
it's
maybe if you weren't in front of the Home Depot all day, you could earn $1 to get by a cup.
bro, I'm half Puerto Rican. I'm half Puerto Rican, all right? First things first, those are Mexicans. second thing next, like, all right, I'm Puerto Rican. I'm a born U.S. citizen. That means I'm on welfare, asshole. All right. I'm on welfare. Get your slurs right.
I'm sorry. I'll find a better way to insult your race.
Better. Now I feel truly welcomed.
Yes, you're
says-
equally as
I'm about to
as
take a
everyone.
shot.
Who says hate can't be diverse? That's my question.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Sorry, I'm dying.
That is why I played William Shatner singing to George Lucas at the top of the hour.
Oh, nice.
And because, William Shatner, he just doesn't give a fuck. He just does whatever. Maybe sometimes he takes things a little too far. I'll be the first to recognize that. But you know what? Living the life he has, he doesn't have to cater to anyone. So he can say whatever the hell he wants.
Plus, he's retired, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
who's
And
going to fire him from what?
How dare you? You're going to fire me from my retirement home in Tampa, Florida? How terrible. Hold on before
They
we
got
continue.
nothing on him.
Before we continue, I really want to point out the description for that image right there. It's just, that is an amazing description.
That's no way to convince skeptical Americans that the real definition of feminism is someone who believes in the fundamental equality of men and women.
You mean to tell me that people are going to base a movement upon the adherents' actions? No! That's insane. Come on.
Okay, I want to say
Feminism.
something that someone said in the chat really quick. The
Okay.
geek Thulu might be related to you.
Nerds unite, motherfucker.
He said anyone else trying to use their Jedi powers to move one side of the that sweater to the side. May the fourth be with me. If someone donates like $50, I'll show you what's behind here. I mean, obviously that's probably not gonna happen.
It's a trap.
Yeah. Admiral Akbar, where are you when we need you?
No, but okay. Me and Ren were just talking about this in the chat. We're gonna have a virgin sweater stream.
Yeah, I get my
And it's gonna be awesome.
I get my virgin killer sweater Saturday.
Oh, that's
But we could do it on the shitlord stream if you want.
That's a freaking
just
cool
arrive
guys.
with our.
I'm getting
Well,
my Virgin Killer sweater on Saturday also. Hey.
God.
Stream, and I'm going to sacrifice the virgin killer sweaters to the volcano.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god.
I'm
Hey,
going to
sweet.
rip them off
So
their body.
they won't
so
only be killing virgins,
that's not my
though.
fault.
I just want to point out something. As long as I look good, I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can wear this shit backwards. You would probably work that really well.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do also have A cups, so there's not that much it has to like really hide. I just gotta pull it a little bit tighter, probably get it sewn in a little bit.
You should get some little like nipple tassels to match.
Oh yeah, I've been meaning to buy some of those.
Oh yeah.
I'm going on Amazon. Hold on, you guys continue. I'm going on Amazon to find out the price for nipple tassels right now.
$8 with Prime.
There's
I've looked them up.
huge range. I think I have a few on my wish list.
I don't know how we went
Oh,
from
yeah.
feminism to nipple tassels.
Does the
I'm
chat
not
really
complaining.
care?
Nothing wrong with
Oh my God, Ren, you were not lying. You were not lying at all. You were pretty much dead spot on. The
Yeah.
average price is like around $7.99 to $8.99. Like, what the hell?
It's because I've looked at them before. I was honestly
Hell
going to
yeah.
buy some.
I think I've seen some that you have. Well, maybe not nipple tassels, but the like covers or whatever that.
Nipple
the-
pasties. I have nipple
Yeah,
pasties.
pasties.
I've been looking at maybe nipple tassels, but with YouTube really getting censorship happy, I've been a little careful on stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could always post it. We both could always post it to fucking Patreon or Minds or Twitter or whatever. But
Yep.
Or our special new website.
but I have nipple clamps, but I don't think I can show those off unless I like have like pasties over them. So,
Now, when you say clamps, are
but
we talking clothespins or alligator clamps?
I think my sister might be calling me. I'll be right back.
Okay, well, while she's muted, let's go ahead and move on to our next article, which is a very depressing one. Scarlett Johansson's divorce case shows why men are scared of being stay-at-home dads.
That should be interesting.
Yeah.
It's every
Oh, I just want to say,
It's-
like, my former brother-in-law, he was a stay-at-home dad. He loved it.
well, this is what the scary future might be for him.
Well, they're already divorced, so he's no longer a stay-at-home dad.
Okay. Well, hopefully he got a good end deal for that, which we'll explain in this article. It's every stay-at-home dad's worst nightmare. A previously high-flying man puts his career on hold to allow his more successful wife to continue working while he brings up their newborn child. So far, so progressive. After all, what truly modern man wouldn't do the same? Then, later, when your gurgling baby turns into a beautiful walking, talking little person, mom suddenly files for divorce and demands custody of the child you reared while she made her fortune. It would be a bitter pill for any man to swallow. And right now, Romain Duriak, aka Mr. Scarlett Johansson, is publicly choking on it. Two years ago, shortly after the couple married, Duriak gave up his career as a magazine editor and manager of a creative agency to raise the couple's daughter Rose in their home in France. Johansson split her life between France and Hollywood and enabled by her husband's support on the domestic front. In 2016, alone, her movies grossed $1.2 billion, and she pocketed $25 million. That took her career gross to $3.3 billion, making her the 10th highest grossing actor of all time. That's not bad for an actor who's been a vocal critic of the gender pay gap in Hollywood, where she claims sexism is real. As an aside, one wonders, will Johannes continue her quest for gender equality and give half her fortune to Duriak, or at least half the dough she earned while he kept baby?
I think they meant the.
Oh, kept baby.
They
Yeah.
probably forgot the word the there.
No, he actually kept it in a cage. Like he kept it locked up under lock and key. You know, the normal dad things.
For now, we are left guessing, as Johannes has said, she will never ever talk about the end of their marriage for the sake of her daughter, and bizarrely, out of respect for all working moms. She also has pleaded for the media to respect the couple's privacy, although it's worth noting that the public appetite for celebrity gossip was fueled when the Hollywood actress recently told Playboy magazine, "I don't think it's natural to be a monogamous person." Now,
That's
saying that, and there's a video down here where she talks about flirting with Mark Ruffalo, makes me think she's been unfaithful in her marriage.
yeah.
I have no proof of that. It's kind of a guess, but that's reading between the lines. That's why I'm going with.
I mean, yeah, we can see how the article is alluding to that. And again, I'm not just trying to like defend Scarlett Johansson just because it's Scarlett Johansson, but honestly, with the way this is being written so far, like it seems like both. Like I just tried googling some of the stuff on my phone. There's no real like information out there. So like it just said like in a recent Playboy magazine, I don't think it's natural to be a monogamous person. It could be that they're actually going through a very bitter divorce, so she's kind of getting swayed to one side over the other, monogamy over non-monogamous relationships. And then on top of that, it could be, that's just like red carpet talk. We see like the ridiculous things. Like we remember like some of the jokes that Betty White would say at her fucking like movie premieres and shit like that whenever she was in when she would be in movie parts and everything. So I don't really put a whole lot of faith in the article personally.
At the same time, though, many of the reasons why Hollywood marriages break up is because they're dating someone else.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, not to mention she did kind of set herself up for that with the suspect comment of, I don't think people are meant to be monogamous. It's like, yeah. And you're getting divorced now? There's a little doubt cast onto, well, why is this happening?
Yeah, but the article also doesn't lay claim, like, because depending on what state you're married in and what state you're getting divorced in and all that, you also have to have a legal separation period. Like here in North Carolina, in order to get a divorce, you have to be legally separated for a year. That means you're still legally married. You're just waiting for that year of separation to be able to file divorce papers.
So it's certainly possible that she hasn't cheated and that in reflection of getting a divorce, she's considering having a polyamorous lifestyle. That is certainly a possibility. We don't know that she cheated, but my gut tells me that she probably has. I acknowledge that this is simply my opinion. I have no proof for this. There's no way I could get proof of it. And I just kind of leave it at that.
Yeah.
Well, I think what lends credence to your assertion there is this is Hollywood we're talking about. Like this is Hollywood. Like I'm not just gonna throw points out there to defend one side and not like turn around and like address the other one. This is all speculation. Like this is Hollywood on top of that. Like, let's be honest. How many like freaking good looking guys is she surrounded by on a daily basis? And then like vice versa for like the married men in Hollywood. How many good looking women are they surrounded by on a daily basis? I mean, you can only be tempted for so long. You can only be tempted for so long.
And now we have your boy Pat on the show.
Hey, what's going on now? Sorry it took me so long. I was still at work.
Not a problem. It's great to have you on. All right.
Hey,
we're in the middle of talking about Scarlett Johansson's divorce from her husband, who was a stay-at-home father. So,
what happened?
Basically, she just wants a divorce. And I think it's because her child has grown up to the point where she doesn't have to change any more diapers, so it's a lot easier. But this article actually speculates on that a little bit. But this actually kind of segues into the next part of this article. Anyway, it would be foolish to speculate here why Johansson and Jurek are parting ways. Celebrity divorces are unpredictable affairs, as the hugely acrimonious split of Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt showed. Last September, Jolie claimed Pitt had physically assaulted their 15-year-old son Maddox while on a plane. Pitt was later cleared of all charges, but tellingly Jolie currently has temporary primary custody of their 6 children, and Pitt makes do with therapeutic visitation. Which brings us neatly onto the main storyline of Johanna's latest drama. Who will get custody of their daughter? It promises to get messy as both parents seem determined to fight for that prize. Johannes, I know I'm mispronouncing that, but I don't care.
Johansson.
Okay. Johansson
is requesting residential custody of their daughter, which Jurek's lawyers Hal Mayerson described as laughable, adding he believes that her schedule makes it impossible for her to have physical custody unless she intends to have her children raised by nannies and helpers.
Which basically, no.
Under the law of the United States, thankfully, men and women are treated the same in reference to custody. You can't hide behind a suit or a dress. It's what's in the best interest of the child, which is not true.
Yeah, so that's all the dead kids who got like thrown towards their psycho mother, even though there was like a long police rap sheet of fucking child abuse on the mother's side. Yeah. So that's all the dead kids. Good job. Good job there, lawyer. You lawyer right.
Yeah. So no, and the article actually addresses this point here, but you're perfectly right. I mean, a mother would have to be a real piece of shit. I mean, we're talking about the issue with Daddy 05 right now.
Oh yeah.
And the woman, I forget her name, but she is a horrible, horrible mother, and yet was able to twist the system around so she has custody of her kids. When in all dear God honesty, she shouldn't at all. And even with their YouTube channel up for everyone to see, I believe she still has custody of her own children.
Yeah, she does.
Hopefully that is, but
yeah, just the 2 are out right now. The other ones are still with both the father and the mother.
But the other father is fighting for custody, so.
Yeah.
Right. At the very least, at least, I believe his name, it's Mark and Heather. I believe Mark's children are now with their mother.
Yes.
But, I mean, the idea of taking children away from a mother, even in the United States, is just like nigh impossible. In fact, I did some research on the actual number, because we always hear about 90% of custody cases are awarded to the mother. I found an article from 2012 which showed the statistics of it being about 84%. Still a high percent, but
yeah,
this isn't an anecdotal thing. This is an actual thing that happens.
Yeah, it's the current trend in America, absolutely. Good news is that number has gone down over the years as the whole court systems, and it's still not there, but the court systems are starting to become more equal towards the idea of child custody.
Yeah.
Still a lot of work to do, but progress, folks.
If only that were so, Johannesson will more than likely be a benefactor of one of the legal system's great inequalities, the de facto granting of child custody to mothers. And here's where this ratified story has implications for our own ordinary lives. Now, it will all be about lawyers proving who was Rose's primary caregiver. This standard tries to determine which parent has been responsible for meeting most of the child's daily needs, such as feeding, bathing, playing, walking, and putting to bed, making doctor's appointments, arranging for childcare, and so on. Faced with a raft of skilled lawyers propelled by endless torrents for money, for Duriac, the outlook is stormy. Now, even though this is a case between the U.S. and France, this writer reports on things happening in the U.K., stating that mothers are awarded custody in overriding majority of custody cases. Dad's Rights Group, Father for Justice, estimates a staggering 92 to 98% of child residencies are given to mothers. And then Men and Boys Coalition says the entire system of parenting in the UK is set up around the presumption that mother knows best, and that when parents separate, there should be a primary parent. That's hard to stomach for many men, especially those who've taken on the mantle of stay-at-home parent. And this is where all of this kind of draws together. In Britain, we're currently seeing a rise in the number of stay-at-home dads. It's roughly quadrupled in the last 25 years, according to Pew Research. But are these really the men that careerist women want? Perhaps not, says lawyer Vanessa Lloyd Platt, who claims that divorce is where the man who claims that divorces where the man is a full-time dad have doubled in the last 5 years and now account for 10% of all marital breakups. Vanessa goes on to say, in my experience, 25 to 30% of couples where there is a stay-at-home dad which ends in a split, it is almost always the woman who initiates the proceedings. In an age when equality is expected and even demanded of dads, it's a tragic footnote that the family courts seem to stacked against them. And this is the last paragraph, and then we'll talk about this. Now, Romain Duriek, just like millions of ordinary dads before him, will most likely find that his charmed life has no Hollywood ending. So the first point I want to draw out about this, and then I'll let you all speak about this, is that feminism has pushed this idea that women can work and men should stay at home and take care of the children. But that also means that they still want women to win all custody fights. I mean, okay, it kind of made sense before that that mothers who stayed home with their children, that they get custody of their children. Doesn't make sense 100%, but mostly it does, because they had more interaction with their mother than their father. And that in a divorce, it would make sense that they should be with the parent that they've been around the most. But in this situation, that's not what's happening. Even though children spend more time with their fathers, they're still being given to their mothers.
Yeah, it's because the system's still, antiquated. Back in the day, a lot of moms were like me. They were stay-at-home moms. They were the ones home all the time. They were the ones who took care of every day, all the day-to-day things, like the doctor's appointments and all that. And the dad had a career. So it made total sense why mom would get custody. Mom knew the doctors, mom knew the school, mom handled all that stuff. So you were dealing with a system that was really set up for what the times were. But now it hasn't updated, so now you have a lot of dads who are stay-at-home dads, who are around all the time, and they're still giving the custody to the career moms who really don't do any of that. So it is unfair because you're just setting a kid up to, in this case, if she does get custody, setting a 2-year-old up to basically be raised by a nanny because mom's not around ever because she's working.
Yeah. Which, I mean, doing for what's best of the child, I mean, would be to stay with the father. The father has dedicated his life to that. And honestly, Scarlett Johansson could pay alimony. She can pay child support. She has more than enough money to do it. I mean, she pocketed $25 million. Okay, give them $1 million. They could live happily off of $1 million a year. Or hell, just $1 million, period. But and yeah, maybe he'd have to go back to work. But here's another thing about this situation is that I'm willing to bet that a lot of men who are in this situation where they were stay-at-home fathers who now have to give the child to the mother in the divorce are still required to pay child support.
Yeah.
Well, how are they supposed to pay child support if they gave up their careers to raise a child?
Yeah.
I just want to jump in real fast. And you know how I am, Mad Cat. I always have to be the one to be the battler. Like, of course I do, right? So I just want to go back to the story real fast before I address anything else. All right. So there's a couple of things that kind of have perked my ears, so to say, with this whole story. They referenced the concept of Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, correct? How they're like, oh, look at how this Hollywood divorce happened and everything. I don't really see a whole lot of parallels between Scarlett Johansson and Romain Duriek and Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, and there's a reason why. Neither within the Pitt Jolie household, neither one of them were like stay-at-home parents. They was straight like nannies and shit because both parents worked, so on and so forth. And then we also had we had accusations along with some witness statements of Brad Pitt actually assaulting Maddox. It wasn't even just like Angelina Jolie was like, he totally did this to a judge. There was actual witness statements and a police report was filed. So it was a little bit different because it was on a plane in public.
The comparison that they were drawing is just saying how unpredictable the nature of these divorces or breakups can be when we talk about celebrities.
Well, also, but we also have to understand that when it came down to like right now, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, they're still kind of fighting a little bit over the idea of custody because it's still in the legal process. And everybody knows that divorce is stressful as all hell, right? Like, let's be honest here. Like, everybody knows this, unless like you're doing like one of those rare mutual splits where both of you are like, yeah, we totally shouldn't be married anymore. Let's just sell this all in like litigation. So what ends up happening when you have like a already filed police report of child abuse, so on and so forth, and coupled with the idea that, hey, there's a lot of stress going on and a lot of this terrible fighting, because they even stated it too. It's acrimonious, bitter and hateful. It makes sense in the Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt case to go, or a judge would go, hey, for temporarily, we're going to move the children over to the mother because the father has already like a police record of child abuse. And even though the charges got dropped, the paperwork's still there. So it's still in the judge's mind. Now, when we look at Romain Durac and we look at Angelina Jolie, or not Angelina Jolie, Scarlett Johansson, Durac was a stay-at-home dad. And from what we can tell right now, there's no real like evidence of anything of him being a terrible father, so on and so forth. What we do know, though, is that Scarlett Johansson has constantly been bouncing back and forth between Paris and the U.S. back and forth. That's actually a very unstable living condition. That's also taken effect when it comes down to deciding custody of a child. It's not even just a matter of just like who's the more stable parent, who's going to be more like in-grounded where the kid can go to school on the average, but it's also a matter of like whose family is around. If Scarlett Johansson's bouncing back and forth between fucking, Paris and New York, that means the child would too, which means the child would have to go to two different schools, and then would be away from other family members. And a judge may look at that and be like, no, that's not actually a stable home for said child.
In a perfect world, I would agree with you that would be a good point. But another fact that they're going to look at is money. Scarlett Johansson has money. Scarlett Johansson's also the mother. They're going to look at that and put that into her favor. A child should be with their mother. He came from her loins, so obviously the child, not he, she has a closer connection to her mother than she does with her father, despite living with her father pretty much since birth.
But you're also not taking one thing into account, Mad Cat, which has happened before with another actress, which is when you're dealing with countries like France, there is another case of a female actress who lost custody of her kids to the father, and I believe he was living in France, and that's where the kids were, because they were going to school and everything. So there's a good possibility France might side with him, or at least the divorce courts in France might side with him and go, no, the kid goes to school here in France. The kid, has a life here. It's very stable. We're not moving this child out of this life that's stable and normal in order to move around and jet set.
And then we also have to ask the question, what citizenship does the child have? Does the little girl have dual citizenship? Does she have like a single nation citizenship? Because if she's like 100% a French citizen, the French government may be a little bit skeptical of allowing this child to travel back and forth in between countries where the mother can just run off with said kid into like America. And now it's like a huge international issue.
But you're making an assumption about something in all of this. You're assuming that the divorce was initiated in France. If Scarlett Johansson has a residence in the United States, which she most likely does, and if she initiates the divorce from the United States, then there's a good chance that it's the United States that makes the decision and not France.
But if the kid was born
it depends on how international laws are in regards to international divorces. But at least in the United States, if you are in two different places, wherever you initiate the divorce, that is the state that will carry out the divorce. to be the true for an international divorce, if it's going to be done in the United States because she initiated it in the United States, or if it's being required to do in France because they live in France.
Also, Mad Cat, there's a thing of, the U.S. doesn't recognize dual citizenship.
Yeah.
So if the little girl lives in France and has French documentation of being a French citizen, they may kick it over to France just because they won't recognize dual citizenship.
The United States doesn't recognize dual citizenship is if you are first an American citizen. If you were born in another country and have citizenship there,
not even if you're born in another country. Igor was born in Canada. His father is British. His mother is an American. When he came here, he had to naturalize, and he couldn't really claim his British citizenship without first giving up his American citizenship.
Yeah, that's actually a huge issue for service members with pregnant spouses overseas. If the mother gives birth on a military installation, it's like, okay, ominous dominus U.S. citizen. If the mother gives birth in like a foreign country's hospital, then it's literally like, hey, get over here as fast as you can to get filed for you, get your child filed as a U.S. citizen before the home country turns around and goes, nope, kid's totally like Japanese citizen or this or that, if they have laws along that level. Not all countries have birth by citizenship by birth laws, but like Canada, U.S. does. France did if you were born before 1983, so on and so forth.
Okay. So I apologize, I was ignorant on the issue. I think we can at least all agree, though, that this is going to be a very complex and messy divorce.
Oh, absolutely.
I really hope that maybe France steps in and maybe they say, nope, child has to stay here, has to live with the parent, and mother has to pay for support.
It's entirely possible.
France has done it before. They might do it again, where they might go, no, the kids lived here for 2 years and had a very stable life. What happens when they start school? What happens when they do this? And given the U.S.'s propensity for not accepting dual citizenship, even if she claimed the girl was a U.S. citizen, if she tried that, it could be an international mess.
Yeah.
Well, in the end of it all, like, and I know we all have like conflicting points of view on this and everything, but I think we can all agree 100%. All we can hope for is that the little girl, that no matter what happens, the little girl in question, she actually lives to have a long, healthy, happy life. That it's not terrible, and hopefully the system works out to where she goes to the best parent possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I can drink to that, but at the same time, this is a very telling thing that's happening in our world, where men, trying to be progressive, become a stay-at-home dad, invest emotionally in their child, give up their own careers to raise a child while a mother works, and then when it comes time for divorce, loses the child. And then has to pay alimony, but he can't work because he gave up his career.
Yeah, that's what happened to my former brother-in-law.
In this case, we're only talking 2 years, so maybe it's possible for him. But what if a guy was in technology and left his job for 10 years? It's hard to get back into a technology job after that.
Oh, yeah. And like I was talking about before with my former brother-in-law, that's what happened to him. Became a stay-at-home dad, left his job and everything, did that for about 4 years. Eventually, him and my sister, they ended up divorcing. And after the dust settled and everything, the state of California was like, okay, the kids go to the mother, father has to pay alimony. He went from being like a technical engineer to like having to do like part-time jobs just because he couldn't find work because he had like too long of a gap in his resume without working. And he started working as like a regular auto mechanic, like got AC certified and all that, and was like, okay, I'm going to be an auto mechanic just so I can make money. The guy went from making $120K a year. And the reason why he became a stay-at-home dad is because my sister was making more money than him. So they were like, oh, yeah, it makes more sense. I stay home. And then went and became an auto mechanic, which really sucked for him.
At least mechanic's a decent paying job.
Yeah, not in California, unfortunately.
Oof.
Yeah, Southern California on top of that, so cost of living is way higher. It's awful.
My hope for this little girl, even if Scarlett Johansson gets full custody and lives in the United States, is that she still has access to her father. That he can still visit her. He can still take her for, like, I don't know how that would work, but maybe like still has an actual relationship with her father. Because that studies have shown that both parents.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And that's what I hope for her. That in all of this, no matter how it ends up, she still has access to both of her parents.
I completely agree with you, man. Like that's something that's actually important in a child's life, both parents being involved.
Mm-hmm.
But what I fear is that Scarlett Johansson is going to try to use this as a way to say that she has it all. She's a successful Hollywood actress, 10th highest paid actress of all time, or actor of all time, and that she's a single mother, and that she raises her daughter all by herself, and that the father is not involved, but she's still oppressed. She will be a feminist god because she will have it all and still be a victim at the same time. And that's what I fear in this situation. And I might be wrong on this, but I think that this is a power play by Scarlett Johansson.
If
It's
that's the case,
possible.
she would be the worst person in the world.
Oh, it's okay. If that's the case, her daughter can always, years later, write another version of Mommy Dearest.
Based on a true story, Marmy Dearest 2, The Johansson Effect.
Though I still don't get why she's the 10th highest paid actor. She's not that good.
Because
No,
you
she's
don't have
not.
to be good in Hollywood to get paid well. You just have to have a great agent.
A great agent, and with Jennifer Lawrence proving support a really great cause, aka feminism.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's gotten so many jobs, and she shouldn't, because she criticizes every person she works with, like, oh, it's sexist, and they treat me differently because I'm a woman, and they pay me less, even though she makes more than her co-stars.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the one film I always got that she complained about this. That was funny. She complained about this. The one film where she was like, had the smallest amount of lines compared to all the rest of her co-stars, got paid equally, for her time. She wasn't getting paid over. She got paid for the amount of screen time she had, and then she went, "I made less than them." Meanwhile, they were carrying the entire film.
You talking about American Hustle?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Technically did get paid less by $100,000. But there's actually a lot of nuance in that. First off, she was a PG actress. She had only done The Hunger Games, or maybe a few TV spots before that. This was her first time in an R-rated film. So she did not have any sort of experience nor any exposure to this world. They didn't know if adults would like her in an adult film, which is a real concern. Secondly, all of her co-stars, we had Jeremy Renner and Christian Bale, both have been actors longer than Jennifer Lawrence had been alive at that point. And they have to get paid a certain amount of money for any movie they're in. Now they can agree to like take a cut back on that, but so they had more experience. They had been in R-rated films, and here she comes in completely a fresh fish, basically, and makes $100,000 less. Meaning?
Well, then I'd be lucky enough, though, I'm saying, to be even included in that lineup right there that you just mentioned.
Yeah, there's probably tons of actresses who would have killed for that role.
I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
And here she is whining about it. I'm like, entitled much?
And this is why she got all of her roles, because part of the thing with Hollywood is media exposure you're getting. Now, if you stay, keep your nose clean, don't really do anything, you're not going to get that many parts because you're not in the media. So you have to either do something really, really bad or complain a lot.
Well, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
But that's why Scarlett Johansson is getting parts, because she's complaining about the wage gap, which doesn't exist.
Hey, she really screwed up one of my favorite animes, man.
Ghost in the Shell.
Man.
Yeah, I heard she was really wooden acting in that.
I mean, let's be honest. If you were in Ghost in the Shell live action movie, would you really be trying to act also? Like, nah. That was just a cash grab.
Yeah, but still, I have more respect for actors who they know they're in a cash grab cheesy movie, but they put their all into it because it's like, screw it, this is the one movie I can just go balls to the wall crazy.
So pretty much every Schwarzenegger film ever.
Exactly. Look how much fun Schwarzenegger clearly is having in all those crappy films. He is just living it up.
All the terrible one-liners and everything.
Well, Bruce Campbell's another example.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's the B-rated films, and it's like, funny enough, most of the time he's the best actor there, and he's just having a ball.
Well, yeah, it's Bruce Campbell though. Like,
oh, exactly. I mean, it's like, have any of you guys ever seen the movie D&D?
yes.
The best part is the guy who plays the villain, because even though it is the cheesiest role ever, he just is so funny.
Oh, I'm trying to think. Jeremy Irons?
I think so. I think it was Jeremy Irons. Either way, he was the funniest part of that movie.
Yeah. But, you know, it's like what I think says in the chat. Actresses want to be paid the same as men. Fuck that. I want them to be paid the same as actors. The movie is more than I will ever see in a lifetime. And Scarlett wants more money, but she wants to be paid more than Evans, Hemsworth, and Renner from what I read of Age of Ultron. And if I remember correctly, Scarlett Johansson really didn't have that much of a role in Age of Ultron.
No, she didn't.
No, it's just that they require, since she's now synonymous with the idea of Black Widow, like they require Black Widow because she's going to play integral, like very integral parts later on, and they can't really just lose that. Because at this point in time, it's not like the Spider-Man effect. You can't just replace her with another actress for Black Widow and people would be okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like that's the thing, and that's something. This whole wage gap in Hollywood bullshit. I find it quite amazing that it quote unquote exists. With the very few selection of movies that are out there that have turned into like worldwide phenomenons, when you look at it, the largest demographics that patrons that go to movie theaters are men. They are.
Yes.
There's way more men that go to movie theaters to see movies than women. And so what do men tend to go see? Fucking
action.
Yeah, badass action films, you know, fucking the new Transformers, the new this, the new that. So when it comes down to it, like you're paid based upon what are the likeliness of you going to pull an audience into the theater, you know? Like if you put Liam Neeson in like any fucking movie, you know, every fucking like the straightest guys in the world, like pretty much 98% of the Earth's population's going to go see that fucking movie. Because it's like, oh, it's Liam Neeson.
It's Liam Neeson.
Yeah, well, like literally that bullshit of a movie, A Million Ways to Die in the Old West. Like that movie was terrible. It was a terrible movie, but it was able to make at least some money in the box office because they were like, Liam Neeson, like we have him in it.
Okay,
and I still laughed at it, but it is a bad film.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Like when it comes down to it, it's these amazing action films. Hate to break it to a lot of people, but you know. When it comes down to the whole, you know, Hollywood mystery and all that jazz, like you could have an awesome storyline, so on and so forth. But in all honesty, just put in a bunch of explosions, a couple of hot chicks, and some fast cars, and boom, you got yourself a Hollywood blockbuster.
Well, yeah. How many at this point? How many Fast and Furious movies have there been?
I think they're on like.
Yeah, it's going to be 8 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on 8.
Yeah, and that's my point exactly. And that movie required no real acting in it. You just had. That you had to be able to deal out like 3 types of emotions and look cool in a car, and boom, like you just made a cool like 20 mil.
Oh yeah,
and you know the movies don't even require a story. There is no story.
No, like I don't even know what happened. Fast and Furious was about like the whole movie started off as like cop goes rogue, like you know every other like cop goes rogue movie, joins car thief gang, and now they become secret agents. But that's a little bit of a tangent. Like where I was going for is that when you look at what the majority of roles of like a lot of women play in Hollywood, they tend to be very story-driven movies, you know, and they're great movies, don't get me wrong. But those aren't what draws in the largest demographic for, you know, cinema. I hate to say it, but it's true. The explosions, the tits in the cars draw in the largest demographic for cinema than, you know, actual like storyline driven movies. It's the sad fucking truth. And that's the reason why actresses get paid less in Hollywood, because they know that if they put them in their traditional like roles, like we're going to have you do a serious role for this like 3-hour long film, so on and so forth, like their largest demographic isn't going to go to their like this. There's going to be like their third or second largest, and that doesn't pull in the same amount of money. So how are you going to pay an actress the same amount as like this male actor over here when they're not pulling in the same amount of cash? You're not.
Exactly.
You're not.
Because chick flicks are fun, but chick flicks, the only time I really ever caught them in the past was by the time they got to like Lifetime. You know, before that point, it's like, I don't know if I really want to go see this in the movie theater. You know, versus like the superhero films where it's like, you know, damn right, when Guardians of the Galaxy came out, I was there opening weekend. Same thing with Deadpool.
Yeah.
You want to
exactly.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, or Bridges of Madison County?
Yeah.
I want to see Clint Eastwood get emotional.
Yeah.
And I like
there is no emotional Clint Eastwood. He just gets more and more racist. That's about it. We've all seen Gran Torino. What's wrong, Clint Eastwood? I'm sad. Why are you sad? Because of hold on. No. This is a different time, brother. Like, go back to arguing against the empty chair. It's cool, crazy old timer. Get out of here.
Oh God, that was hilarious. Old man yells at chair.
That's Clint Eastwood in a fucking nutshell at this point.
Well, he has turned into the old man on the porch going, "Get off my lawn."
Yeah. I wish I could say so many lines. I wish I could say so many lines from Gran Torino right now just for shits and giggles, but I really don't want to get Mad Cat's fucking like channel fucking like destroyed. And Modern Medusa is like blacklisted because of me.
Channel.
Oh, so I can totally do it. All right, cool.
I'm already fucked up, although I'm still getting subscribers amazingly.
Congrats. But yeah. But I don't understand the insanity of this all. I don't. How do I human? Can the people in the audience tell me how to human? How do I survive as a millennial? Like, do I just
start claiming you're not a millennial?
Yeah.
I still get pissed at BuzzFeed because they start linking anyone born even by 88 and on as millennial. It's like, no.
No.
Yeah, that's how they do it. That's how they do it. It's like, no. If you're born in born in the 80s, you late 80s, you can claim Gen Y.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I'm just waiting for BuzzFeed to come out and say, if you fought in the Korean War, you're a millennial. Like, you might be checking your BuzzFeed accounts right now. Like, BuzzFeed's
trying to make millennials like a really large group. So that's why they've gone past like where Gen Y was. They've eaten that up and called them millennials. They're eating up everyone. It's like, you're all millennials. It's like, no, we're not.
No.
I think it's just
joined a website recently, and it asked me for my birthday and then told me that I was Gen Y. Well, I was born in 1980. And that was kind of the cutoff point between Gen X and Gen Y. And I'm like, no, I've always been Gen X because Gen X sounds cool. But now being an adult and seeing everything that I have, I want to be Gen Y. Stupid reason, but because Y chromosome. I don't want to be an X chromosome. I want to be a Y chromosome. It's so much better than X.
But you want to be Gen X because remember the 90s? Like, extreme was spelled with an X everywhere. There was comics. You could get like the extreme juices from Capri Sun. Come on, man.
It was the best comics back then.
Yeah. The 90s was the best.
I don't know. I was born in 78, so I enjoyed the 80s.
Well, you're not much older than me, but yeah. I mean, technically I am Gen X, but it's always been a point of contention because it did end in 1980. So
Yeah, Gen X ended in 1980, and they used to start Gen Y from 81 to like I think it was like 90. 81 to 90 was Gen Y, and then millennials were 90s on.
Yeah. I'm from 87, so.
Yeah, that's why we want to say Gen Y. Just we're not millennial. Just get you out of that whole group altogether.
Yeah, get out of there.
I just assume that anybody who like survived past like 2000 is a millennial. So I look at my my great grandmother who's like 98 and just go, "You're a millennial."
does she bitch slap you when you say that?
No, man, it's just a really old German broad who survived World War II and just straight out like chain smokes like it's cool. She's actually one that got me smoking. She just looked at me when I was 16. She's like, "You need to start smoking." I'm like, "Okay, this is weird. Oh, all right. Here, Oma, let me get a cigarette." Like,
And one day you'll move up to cigars.
I'm already at cigars, boy. Like, don't tell me that.
You at 16. It's like, here's a cigarette. Sooner or later, you'll start doing cigars.
Yeah. It's actually hilarious. She used to smoke 3 packs a day, and then she cut back to 2 because her doctor told her to. And I'm like, that's not cutting back. Like,
yeah, that's cutting back. That's cutting back by a third.
She's so miserable about it. She just sits on her front porch bitching. Like, what does the doctor know? I'm like, well, he has a PhD, so he probably knows a lot, Oma. No, he doesn't know anything. Like, no, Oma.
You know what? To be fair, given all my experiences with doctors, I kind of now understand where old people come from. It's like, doctors don't know anything. And I'm like, yeah, they really don't know anything.
No, but here's the thing. Like, we can say that having like the traditional medical knowledge that we know today, like available at our fingertips. We're talking about people like when she was like born and everything. These motherfuckers were still like sacrificing goats to like fucking Allah and shit, bro. Like, they don't know shit about medical science. Like my Oma, I was sick one day. My Oma came to me. She's like, "Oh, Jimmy, it's okay. I'll make you feel better. Here, let me put some leeches on you. Let's bleed out the virus." Like, no, that they don't know shit.
While medical science has come a long way, medical science doesn't even recognize what's wrong with me.
Well, yeah.
And every time I go see a doctor, like, "Oh yeah, you're depressed. Here's some medication. Suck on that for a while." That's pretty much my entire experience with every doctor since I became disabled. They just keep pushing pills on me without ever trying to understand what's wrong with me. So that's why I kind of now have this opinion that there are a few good doctors out there. I'll acknowledge it, but most of them.
Well, it's because they're pushers now.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't disagree with you, but like we're talking about, like, we can say this about doctors with the current, like, the ability to like WebMD this shit. Like, we can pull up this information relatively fast and start trying to figure it out. So that way, you know, we can save an extra $5,000 when we see the doctor. A woman that was born like well before World War II, was like born during World War I, was still using like leeches and shit. She doesn't know shit. And I will not defend my Oma on the idea of her being more intelligent than that of a doctor. No.
I'm so desperate, I'm considering the leeches.
You know, there's actually some doctors who still actually use leeches for blood clotting disorders because they do work for that.
Yeah, but they don't work for the common cold.
Well, yes, you're correct. Leeches do not work for common cold.
No, that's what I'm talking about. Like, she will legit try to pull some like old school voodoo on you. Now, don't get me wrong. She's she's a crotchety old bird. She'll like fist fight anyone. It's hilarious. But
I remember the home remedies.
Yeah.
Hello, friends. I have returned.
Yay!
Hello, friend. Hey.
Well, I do remember.
I am sorry.
Oh, it's fine. You talk to your sister.
Yeah,
I do remember my grandmother's home remedies actually did work, but then again, her remedy for sore throat was warm tea and honey, which actually worked better than medicine.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that actually does help for sore throat. It's very soothing.
Yeah, then like I said, when you got the real cold where I come from, man, yeah, you got the what? You got the tea, you got the honey, you got the peppermint, and then you got the brown whiskey.
The brown whiskey. Whoa!
How are you doing?
There.
Oh, that was
like, here's all these mundane items you can buy at Walmart. You got peppermint, chamomile, honey, and then you have to hit up the ABC store and buy yourself a bottle of Jack and stop being a bitch. Like, wow, bro. I just fell under the weather. Damn.
Those toddies work wonder.
My family down south, they firmly believe, and some of them firmly believe, that the way to cure a baby's teething is dip your fingers in Soko and rub it on the gums.
That has some benefit to it, though. It numbs the gums so they can.
It's Southern comfort. It numbs nothing. You might as well hand the kid a Zima. Do you guys Zima? Pat, you Zima, bro? You want a Zima, bro? Play some GameCube?
No.
Drink some
No, I'm not a
heavy.
Zima.
I never Zima in my life.
Yeah.
Zima at least tastes better than cold duck.
Goddamn, Thrax, you're trying to kill people. Just straight out Everclear. That's all he
Everclear.
Everclear. Just
I did buy some lighter fluid recently. I'm sorry, vodka. It just tastes like lighter fluid. That's how cheap I am.
I got some white rum right here. Don't tell me vodka's worse.
Drink.
I think we're going to need to change
I will in a sec, okay? I just took a huge dab.
Yeah, we're going to have to change the name of the stream, guys, from Smash the Matriarchy to, like, just raid the bar. Like, at this point, we might as well.
That's great. Okay, well, before I forget, I got to make a shout out to this guy who pledged $15 on Patreon today. He didn't really look at the tiers, so he doesn't really know what he wants, but I'm going to give him a shout out anyways.
What's his name? I'll shout out with you.
He says is at Scapegoat, so SOC Scapegoat, and the name that he donated with is Skirnir.
What?
I don't know if that's on any social media, but yeah. Thank you. I really appreciate it. You're an awesome dude. And more people should do that, especially because you can see more pictures of me in this lovely outfit for just $1. You just got to pledge $1. You don't even have to pledge it every month. You can just do it for like a minute.
Oh, wow, you're cheaper. I make people pay to download the photos every time I put stuff up.
God damn.
If they're not naked, it's not a big deal to me.
Oh, let's get it. I sell nude, so
yeah. Well, these are just like bonus, like extra lewd pictures that also like feature me with like wearing this backwards. I mean, I'm like, obviously covering my nips, but
I now know how to get the subscribers. I'm going to start taking nude photos and selling them on Patreon. Just me, straight banana hammock. Mad Cat, me and you can do this together, man. All male calendar.
And I didn't know Red still did the nudes.
Yes, we should next year, we should aim for a female and male calendar.
Dude, Mad Cat,
Let's do it.
We could totally do like the Japanese schoolgirl like kawaii poses, like in banana hammocks, bro. Like jumping in the air at the same time. We got this.
Hey, y'all see my physique, so you know why.
There you go.
Oh my god.
There you go,
audience you gotta
members.
be a lumberjack.
Here you go, audience members. You better be fucking donating to this.
Free the
This
nipple.
is well worth at least $200 in donations.
Yes, donate so I can get nude pictures of Ren.
Donate to Mad Cat on my behalf so I can get nude pictures of him.
Yeah, when is that next photo shoot, Ren?
I'm equal opportunity.
I'm doing it this weekend because Saturday I get my Virgin Killer sweater.
Yeah.
I have the Harley Quinn corset that I have to take photos in for the person who bought that, and I have the schoolgirl outfit. But I'm also
I want to get one of those soon.
I'm also working on my video portion for the calendar video. And I have to do a reads, which I'm going to be recording later. So I'm just getting caught up.
Oh yeah, did you catch my
Your Patreon
my fan
donation?
fiction? Yeah, Patreon and the fan fiction. Finally.
Yeah, I caught that.
It wasn't too dark, was it?
Igor thinks it might be a little too dark to read, just because I'd have to clear that by Jeff first, given the story. It's like I want to clear that by Jeff and memory first, so they are not like,
So I say, yeah.
what the hell is this? It's like, like clear it by them. If they say fine, then work on it.
I said, Jeff and Mim know I love them. My thing was, I had just watched the movie Adulterers on Netflix, and I'm just like, man, it's like I'm gonna think of something off the top of my head. You know, I was drinking, and so I said,
That explains how I got that dark.
Yeah, you ever seen that movie though?
I'm just looking at this right now, and like Mad Cat's just there, like caressing himself. Like, yeah, come on, Patreon members, donate. Yeah.
Well, Skittles is happy.
Is that a knock at your door? I believe it's the pizza man. Why don't you go give him a tip there, Mad Cat?
Oh, I'll give you a tip.
Bow chicka wow wow.
Yeah, but knowing my luck, after I suck off his cock, he still wants me to pay $14.99 for the pizza.
Well, yeah, it's called capitalism. Like, dear God. That was just you appreciating the effort he took driving his own damn car to give you your pizza. You still have to pay the establishment.
The dick sucking is just the tip.
Yeah. That's hey bro, thanks. Zip. Like
I appreciate it. Yo, I've actually me and an ex of mine have given like a tip plus like bong hits to random pizza goers or pizza givers.
Wait, what?
That come to our door.
I'll give you my pizza if you catch my meat.
What'd you say?
Said I'll give you my pizza.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah,
I don't know what you mean, but I believe it's sexual, so I'm gonna
The
go
sausage
with that.
pizza.
Dear diary, I have learned today to stay away from modern Medusa's house when I take my kid trick-or-treating. She gives out illegal narcotics to pizza delivery men. What does she give to the children? Question mark.
Hey, the only way
they eat all the
children
candy.
could be affected is if they brought
It's
her
only
pizza.
for the parents. Come on.
Only for the yeah, right. That's when you're gonna get like a 15-year-old Hispanic kid with fucking facial hair. You're like, yo, this is totally my son. Give me some of that bongan. Come on.
Yeah. I remember there was a house in my old neighborhood where I grew up that used to hand out beer to all the dads who were trick-or-treating with their kids.
Oh,
Here's the candy for the kids. Here's a beer for you.
Yeah, because you're gonna need it.
And this is how we find out that Rand knew like a Nobel Peace Prize winner, just like right off the bat.
Well, they were the best house on the block too, because they gave out king-size candy bars.
Slats.
God damn, that's a myth.
Again for that.
No, I grew up in, while my family wasn't rich, we lived in a rich neighborhood. So we went trick-or-treating there, and my dad had no problem sitting up that house multiple times.
You know, it's sad that that's not something you could do today.
No, you
Hand
can't.
out the beer with, well, they could get away with it because they clearly only handed it to the adults. It never touched the kids' hands. So that's how they got away with it.
Yeah, but in like today's climate, you go to do it, you hand off a beer to what is clearly a devout Muslim, and he comes back and blows up your house. Like in today's climate, it's not welcome.
Not even that. You would find one cuck of a man who gets a beer and has to tell his wife, and his wife tells them. Suddenly, you've got like social services coming to your home and taking your children away.
I get to see her freaking out. Do you know what you did? Do you know what you did? You gave my husband beer. He's not allowed to drink. Do you know what happens when he drinks? He just starts dry humping my leg like a small dog. Do you know how embarrassing that is? Like just freaking out at you the entire time.
Just tell him it's just a prank, bro.
It's just a meme, bro. It's cool. It's just a meme.
Yeah.
It's just a prank.
Well, luckily in that case, maybe then it probably was that house would probably get away with it because the cops would go, "What were you doing?" I was handing out beer to grown men. Thank you. We're gonna leave you alone. We're sorry.
Just give the cops a beer. They're on duty. It's cool.
No,
I just put in the chat that I am the ass man of Best Buy.
or no,
Nice.
The ass man of Best Buy.
Sweet
Yes,
tips,
because
bro.
Skittles says, why is the manager of Best Buy sitting there without a shirt? I'm like, I'm not. I'm the assistant manager. Ass man.
The ass man. I love it.
Yes, man.
Apparently,
Coming.
Andrew's an
Gemini
ass
is
man.
fucking. That's savage, bro. That's fucking savage.
I do need a shave, but you know.
You look
I'm
like
like-
every floor manager of Arby's I've ever seen. That's his response.
Okay.
That's some cold-blooded shit.
Well, you know what? That as bad as that is, at least it's not as bad as being told that I look like Mundane Matt. So
That is true.
Ooh.
Damn. That's a burn. It makes you feel any better, Mad Cat. I like Arby's. I'll go to Arby's with you.
I like
We can-
Arby's too.
Yeah, we all can share an
Yeah.
apple turnover.
little roast beef.
They have the meat.
What's-
Roast beef.
I don't care who you are. Hey, I'm going to do this right now. Everyone that is watching this, if you have a Twitter account, go follow Nihilistic Arby's. It is one of the greatest fucking accounts ever. I'm just telling you right now.
as good as the
Nihilistic
Wendy's
Arby's.
one? Because Wendy's can get savage on some people. It's hilarious.
Oh yeah, but I'm talking about
I think I
Nihilistic
follow it on-
Arby's.
Oh, thank you, Skittles, for that. He says, but Mad Cat, you are capable of thinking, which is far more than I can say about Potato Matt.
Oh, yeah.
Like Mundane Matt, truth be told, but I don't think he does put a whole lot of thought into things. I think he's just more reactionary. I think
He
if he
is.
actually sat down and actually thought about a lot of shit, he'd be like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that.
I'm neutral.
That's in
I
there.
met him once on a stream.
Here it is, Nihilistic Arby's. I gotta read you some of these. You guys will love this. $1 million isn't cool. You know what's cool? The sweet, irrevocable embrace of death. Eat Arby's. Yes, that's it. Lots of other fast food Twitters say crap like fries make everything okay, but you know what? Life sucks and the fries do nothing. Eat Arby's.
Savage.
Hey, you stoned hippie. This is for April 20th. Hey, you stoned hippie embarrassments to your parents. It's also Hitler's birthday. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, man. Enjoy Arby's.
Hey, I celebrate both, okay? I smoke each joint in the name of the Führer.
Here it is. Here it is.
Please.
For Easter. Never forget the true message of Easter. We are so fucking lucky that when we die, we stay dead and never have to see this shit again. Eat Arby's.
Fuck yeah! Oh
Yeah.
Jesus! I
Yeah.
thought that was a video, but no, it's real life.
Yes, I am flogging my nipple.
Oh god, I actually have a flogger as well, but I don't think I should bring it out.
Oh my god. This is amazing. Everyone, welcome to Mad Cat and Modern Medusa streams, where we have BDSM, nihilistic Arby's, and whatever the fuck else we want to talk about.
Okay.
It's
Look
called
at the
media set. What do you expect?
Okay, Medusa, stay right there.
Yes.
I got it.
I'm using the force.
Oh god.
Not gonna work.
Okay.
I was trying to fix the curtain in the back that somebody was bitching about earlier.
I was like, hold that pose, screenshot.
Yeah. How do you know you're gay when you notice that the curtain's fucked up?
The curtain.
I've had
I don't
someone on the
Forget
stream
about the
ask-
curtain, okay? I tried my best. I don't even.
Hey.
Fuck you. All right, like God.
If you really want gay, I've had
I don't
someone
give a
on
shit.
If you really want gay, I've had someone on a live stream when I was wearing just nothing but pasties and no top tell me to put my shirt on.
Who's got that?
Was it Mike
No,
Pence?
That's gay.
Was it Mike Pence? Did he threaten to electrocute you?
I don't know who it was, but I know either it was one of the people in chat actually muted him. It's like, and you go away.
Wait, what did he say? I didn't hear that part.
Someone in a live stream chat, when it was for shitlords, told me to put my shirt on.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Like, man, if you don't be quiet, mute.
Yeah, and got muted.
I
within 2
have a
seconds.
shirt on, okay, and it's sexy as fuck.
If Fairy's there, he probably would have.
Sorry, Thrax was
This
the
is
one who
called a
muted him.
minimalist shirt.
You are wearing a sweater. You are wearing a sweater. That is not a shirt.
Hey, yeah, okay. It's a sweater thing.
Yeah.
Whatever this.
Don't sweat her sweater.
It's a Virgin Killer sweater. That's the official name. But yeah.
I see a nipple.
I'm so happy. Thank you to Lewd Carrot or So Lewd Carrot on Twitter for buying
Free
this for me. Amazon wishlist. It's beautiful. There's pictures on Twitter and extra pictures on Patreon.
Yeah, I
Bring
think
the
if people
nipple.
on the chat are disappointed that you have pasties on under your shirt. The illusion.
So were there any other topics for tonight?
No, just those 2 stories and then a lot of mindless mumbo jumbo.
Awesome.
So the norm.
Yeah.
Lots of boobs and dicks. Yeah.
Hey, I always love coming on your guys' streams. Like this, I always love it. It's always fun. So I'm not complaining.
And this is the first time I finally made it.
Yes, I've been wanting to have Pat come on, but then it's like he's working and like.
Well, it's because I got invited this time.
But I'm too lazy for that.
I got invited this time, so Pat's like, okay, I gotta join. This motherfucker's stealing all my thunder.
I know. It's like as soon as I got off, I got the text on Twitter. It was like a hangout. So I'm like, oh crap, I'm almost gonna miss it.
No, but
Hey.
you know, you're always welcome on, Pat. You know, even if we're in the middle of something, you know, we send you an invite, just go ahead and come in.
Oh yeah, cool. Because I would love to caught that article before it began right there. Because I came in halfway and I'm like, okay, what we're talking about? And I see Scarlett Johansson's name and it's talking about divorce, and I'm like,
So should we? Well, I'm the control of this show. I forget. We're on Medusa's channel. I keep forgetting this. Today I'm in control. Sorry, my brain. So I have to end this now. Well, thank you for everyone for coming out and discussing the Mr. Shatner, the greatest man ever who lived. Next to me, of course. Thank you for all of our wonderful guests today. For Cthulhu or Cthulhu.
Cthulhu?
Looks like an A. I need new glasses. Donate to my Patreon so I can get better glasses.
I'm the Hawaiian version of Cthulhu. Don't worry. All right. It's all about Ohana and shit.
Also to Reading Ren, who's always a pleasure to work with. To your boy Pat. Although when I first heard his name, when Medusa's like, hey, do you know your boy Pat? And I'm like, I don't have a Pat in my life. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah.
It's great to have all of you with us. Is there any final remarks you want to make as far as the actual stories we discussed? Or I guess anything else?
I think there is one little thing I want to leave behind. And it sounds super mushy and everything. I basically like, hey guys, like I know we see all the bad shit on the news all the time and we see this crap, but guess what? The world's really not that bad. Go outside, check it out. Trust me, you won't die. It's not a nuclear apocalypse yet. All right.
It's not the world of the Terminator yet.
Yeah, we can only hope. I'm dreaming. I'm ready.
Certain that the sex bots will become sentient. Over.
Yeah, but then they'll just become bitchy like real women.
Yeah, man.
I said sentient, not sapient.
Oh, shit. I totally misunderstood.
What about you, Ryan? Any parting gifts for us?
She hates me now. She's like, this guy's a dick.
No.
Oh, I say worse to her. And she's still in my life for some reason. I don't know.
It's because I have a good sense of humor and I don't take anything I hear on told to me on live streams that personally. So that works out well. No, I think I said pretty much everything. Everyone just enjoy themselves and check out Shitlords on Saturday. Another early one, but it'll be fun.
And what about you, Pat? I know we didn't give you a whole lot of time to speak today.
Yeah, it was all right. Like I said, I just came in very late. But next time I'll probably make it on time if I'm not working crazily. But I don't know. What I got about the story right there is I wish Scarlett Johansson and old boy the best of luck, even though they're going through this divorce right now. And when it's all said and done, it's all about the child. If they can make it work to where, they can both be in their lives and things like that. Though with Scarlett Johansson's busy schedule, I can hardly see that, being really healthy for the child. And I don't know how these court systems are going to actually put it out there. But it's like, well, hoping they do what's best for the child, exactly, and not just what's best for Scarlett Johansson being, what she is right now.
Very profound. Very good words.
Oh, yeah.
And normally I would give this time over to Modern Medusa to shill stuff, but it's like 90% of what she says is shilling, so I don't know if I should.
Hey, I was gonna just say live long and titties, but whatever.
You mix like
Live long and titties.
Yeah.
Yes,
You mix like
exactly.
three things. It's May 4th and you're like Star Trek and now porn. Like I don't know how this works.
So live long and fuck off.
Oh, can I show, or do you not want me to?
Chill. Go ahead and chill.
Well, you know what rhymes? Live long and Patreon.
Yes.
But for everyone, not just me. Okay, I say support everyone on Patreon. But also, oh hi Otterface, just coming into the chat.
Oh, just coming in.
We're ending, but it's nice to see you. $5 GIFs I'll post of me in this outfit, if you know what I mean. So yeah,
$5
Twitter.
G's.
But obviously all my links are down below. I already said 5 times that this is from Amazon wish list, and all that good stuff is down there. But yeah, this is Mad Cat's usual show. He was banned from live streaming for a while, if you didn't know. That's why we're having it on here. But yeah, is that going to be up soon?
End of June. So, okay. And there's no way that I can talk about my Patreon after her talking about her boobs, but I'm going to try. Down below is my links. I've got my Patreon, I got my Minds, got my Twitter. Going to have to get Modern Medusa to put my book down there. I do have a pre-order book. It's characters astrology profiles. Write better characters. That's my goal, but it's on pre-order now for $9.99. But in that, consider donating to my Patreon. I am trying to raise money. One, to get a better computer, because this thing is barely functioning. I mean, I swear it should be sitting out on the porch in a rocking chair yelling at kids to get off the lawn. That's how bad it is. But I also need health insurance because I'm disabled and can't work, and Medicaid sucks. Like I said, doctors are just horrible. I need a better quality of doctor, which means better insurance. So that is one of my main goals right now, is to try to get actual help for my condition. Other than that, we do have a show coming up on Tuesday and Thursday, like normal, all on Modern Medusa's channel. We are also doing a pin-up calendar of the lovely ladies of the men's movement. We are starting that on the 15th. So if that is something that you want, please support our Indiegogo campaign. The links will be given out when that is available. And you can get our calendar for $15 on the Indiegogo campaign. After the campaign, it'll be for $20. So this is a way to get in price. But we are also going to be offering other things, such as a signed autograph picture of Reading Ren, Modern Medusa, and Chagrin.
Yeah, boy.
Big story that we mentioned at the top of the show is that Mercedes Carrera is also going to be in the 2018 calendar.
Carrera.
Sure, that's a reason to buy the calendar, but it also supports men's rights. We will have facts about men's issue every month. So this is a good way to spread the word about the issues that men face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's going to do it for us today. Once again, thank you everyone for coming out. This was a fantastic show. And once again, I am Dix.
Yay, dicks.
Oops.
Titties.
Lots and lots of boobs. Everyone have a good night.
Yes.